There we go. Ha! It is on, it is live, it is working, and hopefully the sound is all right as well. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed it's all right today. We shall see. Right, let's move this up there. Good. Right, so the comments are now in front of me. Right in front of my eyes. So I can see Wagwan, as it were. So yeah. We are live on Sunday evening. Sunday evening Mortgage Live. It is all good. Everything's fine. Rock and roll. So, yeah. Here probably for how long? Probably half an hour or so. Yeah, I reckon we'll get half an hour out of it, maybe a bit more, because it's Sunday evening and there are Sunday evening jobs that need to be done. So do get your questions in now, and I will do my best to answer them for you, to clear up any thoughts you might have, maybe point you in the right direction of things. But yeah, now's your chance. Grab it while it's here. If you do want to get in touch, details are above my head. If you're watching on YouTube, the details are over that way somewhere. But yeah, do feel free to get the questions in, and yeah, I will answer them for you. So don't worry, no question is a silly question. You're obviously not taught this stuff. I've had to go away and study it and get qualified for it. So do feel free. If I can help you out, then that is all good. That's what I'm here for. So if you can tap, if you don't want to ask a question, then tap the screen and get the likes up, because then that gets us in front of more people who might want to ask a question, might ask a question you've not thought of. So if you could do that, that'll be awesome as well. And thank you for the follow. I was just going to say, don't forget to follow if you want to, but there we go. What's the best way to raise capital on my retirement property? So are you living in it already and maybe you want to take some out? That would just be additional borrowing. If it's got a mortgage on it already, it will be additional borrowing. But if you are retired, you're going to have valid income to be able to do that. Can you include stamp duty in a mortgage? No. The only fees you can include in a mortgage are the product fees, the sort of the mortgage product fees, generally about £1,000, £1,500 in some cases, maybe more. Not necessarily mortgage question. However, can you buy a property with physical cash? Yes, you can. How long will you say it's complete first time? No. Let's start that again. How long would you say it's taking to complete first time buy, no chains for either? A bit slower than normal, because a lot of people have got their applications in to try and beat the stamp duty threshold changes. So lenders have a lot of applications on their desks. Conveyancers have a lot of applications on their desk, as do valuers. So it's a little bit longer than normal. Nothing too bad though. But no chains either side. You might be able to get that done in 4 to 5 months. Will lenders care if I use crypto during the process of getting an application accepted? What do you mean by use crypto? What do you mean? They probably won't take it as a deposit. Leeds Building Society, how long from valuation survey to get a mortgage offer? Every single one is different. Can't say. Would I get a mortgage on part-time if my partner works full-time, or would we need shared? No, I mean, you can get a normal mortgage on part-time. That's absolutely fine, because the mortgage, the amount you can borrow is based on a multiplication of your salary. So if you combine your and your partner's salary, doesn't matter where it's come from, as in terms of part-time or full-time, it's a figure. So you've got your partner's annual income, you've got your annual income, and add them together as a combined income, and then your mortgage borrowing is a multiplication of that. So yeah, should be able to. Our mortgage went in 4 weeks. Are you aware of delays with lenders being advised, unfortunately? Unofficially? No. No, not been told of any delays. Every single lender has different SLAs though. If I'm using crypto just to invest, nothing else. No, that's fine. If it's just like stocks and shares, investing, that should be fine. How long does it take to get a mortgage in principle? Now, I'm just thinking from our process perspective, because for us to get your mortgage in principle, we need to have had your documents back. We need to have done a fact find, all that kind of stuff. So we know we're approaching the right lender for that agreement in principle. So it largely depends on how quickly you return stuff to us. But if we've got everything back and we've done everything, I can get an agreement in principle in half an hour. My mortgage is due next week. Should I tie down for 2 or 5 years? Well, Dean, you've left that far too late. You've cost yourself a huge amount of money. You should have sorted that 6 months ago and you would have saved yourself a fortune. I work self-employed and PAYE. Can I use both incomes? As long as you've got tax returns and accounts filed for the self-employed stuff, then yes. Is it true that in 2025 your lending capability is going to go on your annual salary? It already goes on your annual salary. How much is monthly payment for 200k house 5% deposit? Scott, it depends on so many other variables. There's a lot more goes into it than just how much and what the deposit is. My partner has gone for a solo mortgage with Leeds as I've adverse their ranged evaluator, right? Were you in the business during the subprime crisis? No. Can I withdraw a gift debt if I don't need them anymore? How do you mean? Surely they've given you the gift, so it's gone. I'm not sure what you're asking. Are mortgages for London leasehold one-bedroom flats difficult to sort out with a LISA? No. As long as you've got enough time remaining on the lease, that should be fine. So 100 years plus on the lease, that'll be all right. Is it best to save up as much deposit as possible or get into the housing market earlier? That is for you to decide, really. And there's a few things you'd need to consider about that. How long is it going to take you? Well, actually, it depends on your situation as well. If you have some credit issues, maybe on your credit file, then you're going to need as much deposit as possible because you won't probably be able to get a 5% deposit mortgage. You're looking at 10 at least. If you've got nothing wrong, if you're just thinking, no, do I put more down or not, then how long is it going to take you to save the ultimate deposit that you want? In that time, what's going to happen with rates? What's going to happen with house prices? So it's just, you need to weigh it up as to whether you want to get onto the housing ladder now with a smaller deposit, which means you'll have to borrow more. And perhaps if house prices increased, you'd start benefiting from the increases. Or do you wait, save more, pay more rent, pay someone else's mortgage, and then see what prices and rates are when the time comes? Really, you need to weigh it up. How long does it take to release LISA before exchange? I don't know. It's one for your solicitor to help with there. What's the interest rate right now? There's absolutely thousands of them. 160k combined income, 2 late payments and PayPal issues remortgaging 3 years ago, no defaults. I mean, the late payments will still be on your credit file, and there will be some lenders that won't accept that as part of their lending criteria. So you just need to make sure you approach one that does. Should I pay my residential off? I have the money. I'm not a financial advisor, so it's probably worth speaking to an IFA as to what's best to do with that money. Can you get a mortgage if you're only self-employed for 6 months? No. You need at least a year's accounts and tax returns filed. Will lender accept 1 year of good books? There are some lenders that will accept 1 year of books. You are limited in lender choice. 2 or more, the better. But if you've only got one, then yeah, we have a handful of lenders that would do it. Could a mine entry on a property I'm purchasing affect the mortgage which has been issued? Potentially. Depends what view the lender takes on it. I have a mortgage in principle with my partner. What are the chances that it could be rejected after? Absolutely, yeah. Mortgage in principles, they're not really worth anything. They're just a step in the process. It depends who's done it. If you've gone through a mortgage broker, then chances are you'll be all right because they would have done the research based on your circumstances and your affordability and approached the right lender for that mortgage in principle. So then when it goes through to full application, there shouldn't be any issues. If you've done it yourself, then to start with, how accurate is that mortgage in principle? Because have you put the right information in? Have you declared your income correctly? Have you declared everything you need to? And secondly, have you applied for a lender that matches your current situation? Do they have the criteria that they'll accept you? So it just depends what kind of route you're going down. What's the maximum loan to value these days? You can potentially get 100% mortgage, but generally it's 95% and below. Got a CCJ 19 months ago on a water bill. Can I get a buy-to-let mortgage? Yeah, you should be able to. You're going to have to approach a lender that's going to take that as their criteria, though. But yeah, there will be lenders that will do it. Do you recommend a good mortgage broker in the southwest area? Are you taking the mick? To start with, right, I'm a mortgage broker. I'm not going to start recommending others. I am also in the southwest. So, I'm in Bristol. So, yeah, feel free to get in touch. How many months of pay slips do you need if you have a new job and was previously self-employed? Now, that depends on lenders. Some will do it on a signed employment contract. Others will take 1 month. But if you've got 3, that's great. Hi there. Any projections for interest rates in the next 12 months? I don't have my crystal ball on my desk at the moment, I'm afraid. If I did, then I would give it a good polish and still wouldn't be able to tell you because nobody knows. You can't, anything can happen. The world is such a crazy place. We could all be speaking Russian this time next year. So, no one knows, I'm afraid. It's just one of those things we keep an eye on and deal with when it comes out. And you've got to remember that through the life of a mortgage, rates go up and down, up and down. If you're taking a 30-year mortgage, there's going to be ups and downs all the way through that. So it's no point looking at the immediate situation and think that's going to last forever. So, yeah, it's just one to go from there. Luke, good evening. My son is ready to buy his house in April. We live in Bristol. I'll get him to follow. Nice one, Natalie. But we don't just work with people in the southwest. We work with people all over the country because it's all done remotely. But Natalie, if your son is thinking about being a first-time buyer, he may be interested in the free first-time buyer's guide, which is available through our website, which is mellowfinancial.co.uk, or available through the TikTok bio link. Hello, Nishi. Is there a reason houses are going over the home report value? That's an interesting one because that's the first time I've heard that. And if that's the case, it suggests there's been a slight swing in supply and demand. If houses are going for over sort of stipulated value, that suggests there might be bidding wars going on, which we haven't seen for a while. Interesting. What part of the country is that? What do you think about interest rate over the next 5 years? Yeah, I think it will still be here. Yeah, I think we'll still have interest rates over the next 5 years. Is it worth changing buy to let into repayment instead of interest only? It depends what you're looking to do. If you are trying to... it depends on your strategy. If you're looking to get it paid off and so you own the whole of the house at the end of the term, then yeah, of course, go to repayment. If you're just looking to realise the benefits of the increases, then on interest only it would work. It's worth a good chat, that one, Nishi. Well, interest only. So it's a mortgage where you only pay the interest. You're not paying off the actual capital of the loan. Difficult to get these days on residentials because the criteria is relatively strict, but it's quite commonplace in the buy-to-let world. Is it better to get a tracker mortgage than a fixed rate for a few years for a first-time buyer? Totally depends on your individual circumstances. No worries, Nishi. Feel free to get in touch if you want to discuss it. Why might interest only be good for a first-time buyer? I don't think it would be. Really don't think it would be. If you have an existing loan for something, sub 5k, will it affect affordability? Yes, it will. House was listed for 500k. Bank valuation came back at 465. Vendor still want 500. Would you buy? Well, you're going to have to fund the difference out of your pocket. You're going to have to pay a much bigger deposit. Now, the options are the vendors reduce the price. You pay the difference out of your pocket, i.e. more deposit, or you walk away. I'd be tempted to walk away in that instance. Call their bluff. Because they're going to have the same situation next time around if someone comes along and buys it. It's going to get downvalued again, most likely. So, yeah. I want to add my husband to my mortgage. Should I do this now and pay or wait until remortgage? Well, he's got to be acceptable to the mortgage company. He may be liable for stamp duty because he's going to have to go on the deeds of the property if he's on the mortgage in most instances. So you may have stamp duty to bear in mind as well. Can you only get 95% mortgage with an excellent credit? Pretty much. I'd say very good to excellent. Yeah, they're certainly not going to... There may be one or two who might look at a slightly spicy credit history, but by and large, it's got to be quite good. Am I considered first-time buyer if there is property I inherited abroad? No, you're not. Can the names of both parties be on the mortgage even if the mortgage was taken out on one of them? What? No, you'd both be an applicant. Why does my mortgage allowance go up to 50k after I add my deposit 210 in when using a calculator? I don't know what you're asking. How much will £5,000 loan affect remortgage? Never. It will just affect your affordability. It shouldn't affect the actual remortgage as long as you are, you can afford what you're borrowing. Can we mortgage if we on universal credit and some income? Potentially, yes. There are lenders that take universal credit, not the housing element though, and PIP as income. Will a lender re-credit check just before completion? Yeah, most likely. The allowance increased by 50k when I added my deposit details in. Lorna, just get it done properly by a broker. Does a salary sacrifice car affect affordability? Yeah, a little bit, because it's a deduction off your payslip before, obviously, on your net pay. So it will do. What's an interest-only mortgage? A mortgage where you only pay the interest. You're not paying back the capital. Expecting a level 3 survey report tomorrow and super nervous. Any advice? Read it carefully, but of course they are going to go and highlight absolutely every issue they can with the house, because they're on the hook if they don't spot something. So they're going to detail absolutely everything. So look at it. It might come back with loads of red on it, but read through the detail because it might actually be not too bad. So don't panic if it comes back with lots of stuff on it. Take your time, look through it and decide, is this serious enough? Is this an issue or not? Would you say get a different valuation to get some leverage rather than calling a bluff 500k? No, because you'll probably get valued again. We're coming to the end of an IVA January 25 where we struggle to get a mortgage. I mean, you're not going to be blessed with the greatest choice of lenders, but there's going to be lenders out there. So you go through a broker, of course, because they're going to match you with lenders where you're going to be acceptable. But it'll be a small choice, but there will be some that will do it. Am I eligible for housing benefit property? Which I don't know. Ask the benefit people. Will I get 5% mortgage with a 580 credit score? Credit scores are irrelevant, but that score suggests to me you've got issues on there, so I'd probably say no. Never owned a property, but have a court-appointed conduct of sale. Am I still a first-time buyer? But have a court-appointed conduct of sale. If you are at all associated with a property in terms of ownership, then you won't be a first-time buyer. Can you use 2 lifetime ISAs accounts towards first mortgage? I'm assuming you're meaning yours and another person's you're buying with. If so, yes. But you can't have 2 lifetime ISAs yourself. Can you get a mortgage with a house with 3 in the home report? What do you mean? Do you see any new buying scheme coming soon? I doubt it. Doubt it. Newly self-employed, got a broker that accepts 1 year. Would this be okay with 60k deposit? What? There are lenders that take 1 year's of accounts into account. Deposit's not relevant. Would private renters be able to get a mortgage without deposit, proof of rent payments on time? Potentially, yes. There is a product out there that exists for that. So, yeah, you do stand a chance. How hard is it to get a second mortgage to rent the property out? Not hard, as long as it's all affordable. It's quite straightforward. There's plenty of mortgages out there. I mean, it just depends on the situation that you're doing. Whether it's a pure buy-to-let, whether you've lived in the property, then it's called a consumer buy-to-let, which is regulated. You need a deposit, of course, 25%. But no, if it's all affordable, it should be quite straightforward. I have a buy-to-let, which I'm selling, but rent my current residence. Is the subject held? You need to speak to an accountant. I'm not a tax advisor. Can you remortgage if you lose your job? No, they will need proof of income. You need income to have a mortgage. Does your saving matter when getting a mortgage? No. Is it possible to have one of a couple take out mortgage but both couples' name on the property? No, all people on the deeds will have to go on the mortgage. How long do mortgage applications take currently? They take as long as they take. Every single application is different. Bought house when I was underage on sister's name. I want to transfer onto mine, buy to let. Best way to do that. What? Is mortgage simply 4 times salary? No. The sort of norm is 4.5 times, but there are instances when it can be 5.5, sometimes 6 times. So it's all dependent on situation. Is overtime considered when applying for a mortgage? Yes, it can be. Somebody I know just lost their job. Do they need to let their mortgage company know of this? No. As long as they keep up the repayments, then they'll be fine. What you should tell them, though, is if they get into any difficulty to ring the lender straight away, because they will work with you or them. They will help you out. They can come up with ways and means to help. So if you're in any issues or trouble at all, don't hesitate to call your lender. They will help you. I'm moving into a house completing on the 24th. When will I have my first payment? It can be a month after you move in. It can be a couple of weeks. They will write to you with how much it's going to be and when they're going to take it. Any advice for first time with big deposit? Do you recommend shared ownership? If you can do it without shared ownership, I'd recommend that. If I become self-employed, how long until I apply for a mortgage? Is there a minimum time frame? Yeah, you need at least 1 year's accounts and tax returned in. Nobody booked appointment for a call. What? When will I see my mortgage start reducing more comparatively? I've paid 6 months, but only 100 down. So it's going to be loaded up front with interest. So yeah, as time goes on, if you're on a 5-year fix, you'll probably pay off, I don't know, grand and a half in that first 5 years. The more time it goes on, the more you pay off the actual capital, because the amount of capital that the interest is charged against gets less, so it just works out better. House is being valued on Friday. Do we speak to a broker once house is sold or before? Probably before, so you can work out how much you can afford, because you're going to know what kind of offers you're going to accept, so therefore how much equity you're going to have. So yeah, I would do it before. Just get it going. Are Nationwide still offering 6 times, or are there many loopholes to get this? Rarely do they actually offer the 6 times. They do it. They do 6 times, but rarely will you actually get the full 6 times. Is it necessary to show 3 months pay slips? I've just started working. In that instance, no, we can work without that. Can you briefly explain how mortgage overpayment works? So you have your normal contractual monthly payment you need to make. If you make an additional payment in a month, that's an overpayment. 9 times out of 10, that actually pays off the capital loan. So you're making inroads into that. The benefits are you'll pay less interest, and therefore you can easily reduce the term. I'm coming to the end of my mortgage offer and still haven't exchanged. Can I extend the offer? You can ask, but will they extend it? Probably not. If they won't extend it, you've got to go through it again. I left my email and mobile, but nobody contacted me for appointment as promised. They did actually, but you didn't pick up the phone. How do you refinance? That is just a remortgage. So it's just moving to a new lender. How can we calculate the benefits of overpayment? Good question, Lorna. If you Google Money Saving Expert Mortgage Overpayment Calculator, go there, put in your normal monthly payment, and then put in, say it's £100 overpayment, and look at the difference. It's surprising. Look at the difference. It's good. Oh, there was Sunil Patel. Don't throw it back at us. It was followed up as part of the process. See ya, tool. Which companies use commission towards mortgages? Loads of them. It's just whether they take 100% or 50% of it. If commission is important, then we'd be making sure that you go with one that does. Is it all right to lie about credit history, income, employment when applying for a mortgage? Absolutely not. No. They'll find it out anyway, so there's no point, and then you'll just be done for fraud and you'll be blacklisted, so really not worth it. Is guaranteed overtime for a year with a letter from employer considered? Yeah. Can you pay for shared ownership 25% in full, not through a mortgage? If you've got the cash and you can prove where it's come from, I'm sure you can. Can brokers use specific credit report agency like Experian instead of all three? We ask for a check my file report, which details all three. Lenders tend to use more than one. We can find lenders that use specific credit referencing agencies. So it's always something to consider. But there we go. Luke, are you still on? Lewis needs to be dealt with. Does part-time job allow for a mortgage? Yes, it does. It's just like any other employment. We take your salary and go from there. How can I buy a house with bad credit history in the past? Go through a broker and we will match your situation with lenders that will lend against it. Can I apply with credit card balances? Absolutely. Yep. So credit card balance is what we call a committed expenditure. It just means it will affect your affordability. I have 3 children, which affect mortgage offer amount. It will affect how much you can borrow, your affordability, yes. Just paid my first mortgage payment of 850 quid. Is it normal to pay 580 in interest? Yep. Interest is heavy up front. How do you get mortgage self-employed? Exactly the same way as a normal mortgage. It's just you need your accounts and tax returns as a way to prove your income. How many months bank statements required for self-employed? 3 months bank statements, but annual accounts and tax returns. I have a full-time job, contribute. If I have a full-time job, contribute with part-time, how many months? What? Don't understand. I'm an agency worker. Is this an issue? Yes, you'll need 12 months worth of pay slips for that. Can you get a mortgage through a company using projected accounts, not good accounts history before? Potentially, yes. We do have lenders that will do that. We have lenders that will go off your latest accounts as well. So yeah, you can do. Advice for getting a self-employed mortgage. There's no such thing as a self-employed mortgage. It's just a normal mortgage, but you happen to be self-employed. It's just a different way of proving your income. We do that by using your accounts and tax returns that are filed. You need at least 1 year's, but if you've got 2 or more, then you'll have a better lender choice. What's the lowest mortgage rates at the moment? I don't know. So many variables that go into it. I am 51, work part-time with 30k deposit. Am I too old for a mortgage? No. 2 or 5 year fix recommended at the moment. The only recommendation is based purely on your individual circumstances. Yeah, exactly, Luke. Don't know if it's been asked, but is it harder to get a mortgage with an IVA? It's near impossible to get a mortgage with an IVA. I've been self-employed for 8 months. Will I qualify for a mortgage? No, because you need at least a year's accounts and tax returns filed. How much can I borrow? 90k, no dependents or debts. Can't tell you. I don't know anything about your situation. If you don't know what an IVA is, you don't need to know. If you don't know what an IVA is, don't bother. You don't need to know. And don't ever consider getting one. They're awful things. How long does it take to get a mortgage improved? So if we go from, say, application to offer, a couple of weeks. The whole process could take 3-4 weeks. Can I use a house sale money as deposit towards new house? Yes, absolutely. So Richie, from whatever you sell the difference between what you sell your house at and the amount of mortgage you have to pay off, that difference is your equity. It's your money. You do what you want with that. So deposit, clear off debts, put it in your pocket, put it on black. You can do what you want with it. Is a first time buyer at 51 with a baby going to be possible to get a mortgage? Should be able to, as long as you've got income. I have no mortgage, so we'll use all house sale money. Nice one. Nice. Good. Yeah, nice one. Go for it. So that's all your equity. Nice position to be in. Oh, God, they're going through so quickly. Right, I apologise if I'm missing your questions. They're going through so quickly. How about remortgage? How long does that take? 3 to 4 weeks. Can I use my right to buy discount as deposit? Yes. You mentioned Money Saving Expert, but did not catch the rest. Olive, so that was to do with calculating overpayments. So if you go to the Money Saving Expert website and search for the mortgage overpayment calculator, put in your normal payment amount, put in whatever overpayment you want to make, and it shows you the difference. Just used overpayment calculator. Amazing how small amount. Exactly. There you go, Lorna. Exactly. It's quite surprising. So I would, yeah, go and have a look at it. Check it out. It's even 50 quid, 100 quid makes a huge difference. And the way to think about it, so with overpayments, interest on a mortgage is quite often calculated on a daily basis. So if you made an overpayment on your mortgage today, the balance on which interest is charged tomorrow is going to be less. So you're going to be charged less interest. So straight away, it's a benefit. Extra 10k towards deposit or do as an overpayment straight away. Doesn't make much difference. Do it as a deposit. Actually, no. Do it as a deposit because you might well secure an initial lower rate of interest. So yeah, put it on a deposit. Always best to put down as much deposit as you can. Why did you recommend to avoid shared ownership? Seems like a nice way to clear a mortgage quicker. I didn't recommend avoiding shared ownership. I just said if you can buy without shared ownership, then that's probably what you'd want to do. I didn't avoid shared ownership. 60k income self-employed, what mortgage would I get? It depends on many things. What type of self-employed you are. You a limited company director, sole trader, partnership? How long have you been trading? How viable is that income? How many years tax accounts have you got published? Lots of things. What negatives of shared ownership? Well, you don't pay the whole house. You don't own the whole house. You still have to rent part of it you don't own. High service charges. You still have a landlord. Trying to sell it can be difficult. Trying to get one in the first place can be difficult. What do you think about helping hand mortgages by Nationwide? Yeah, they're good. We have quite a few clients that go onto them. They're very good. If I go through you, will you get me the best mortgage rate? Yeah, good. See, that's the good question. We won't necessarily get you the best mortgage rate. We will get you the best solution for your needs. So there's a lot more that goes into a mortgage other than just the rate. So when we filter all the results on our screen, there's a certain way we have to filter them. And that isn't by rate. It's by cost over a certain period. Because there's other things that come into it, such as the product fee, if there is one, any cashback, the rates, any other fees, all gets modeled into it to make sure it's the cheapest option for you over a period of time. So it won't necessarily be the lowest rate that you can find out there because there are other costs involved. But yes, if you come to us, we will find you the best, cheapest solution for you and your needs. 70k salary. I don't know how much you got. I don't know anything about your situation. Solicitors fees quoted 1.9k. Is that the going rate? I mean, when we're quoting them, they are coming in a bit less than that. I mean, it doesn't sound too much. It does depend on how much the purchase price is. But ours are a bit lower. Can you get a mortgage while unemployed? No. How much does a broker cost? It varies. Some are free. Some, I've heard, charge thousands. We charge 349. But in the new year, that's going up to 399, I'm afraid. Costs have gone up. Insurances, systems access, all that kind of stuff has gone up. So we have to put our costs up a little bit, I'm afraid. But it's 399 and we only charge it when we get you a formal mortgage offer. So once you've got actually something to show for it. Can you recommend any providers that will accept a CCJ? I can do if you're a client, but I'm not going to do it on here because I don't know anything else about your situation. How much is recommended for other costs outside the mortgage, deposit, solicitors, surveys? That's about it, really. You've got it covered there. Deposit, solicitors, maybe stamp duty if it's applicable, maybe mortgage broker fees if it's applicable, but you've got pretty much all of it there. What length of fixed term is advisable at present? Lorna, it totally depends on your loads of things. And that's why if you were a client, we'd ask you lots of questions. We'd know your situation and then we'd be able to advise what is the best for your situation. Do you know if NatWest has sorted their valuation issue? We've had no issues with valuations from NatWest. What is your experience with Santander? Fine. Random question, but can they profit off a service charge? Some of them very high. Well, a service charge, yeah. It's service charge, it's a company, it's a business. So yeah, absolutely. Of course they profit off a service charge. About to buy a second home, but using equity from the first? Yep, that's absolutely fine. Do socials workers or NHS get better rates? No. Was offered a 40-year mortgage. Is that a good option? Again, all this stuff is largely individual. The benefits of taking a longer term will mean you have lower monthly payments, which means you got the potential to do overpayments. So when you come to remortgage, you could then bring that term down. So it's certainly a strategy that we discuss with our clients, the benefits of having a longer term versus having a shorter term. But of course, if you want to get it paid off as quick as possible, you take it for a shorter term. Longer term, and you kept it for that long term, you will pay a lot of interest. So it's something we discuss, certainly. When fixed rate is up, can I put down a big lump sum without charges? Yep, should be able to. How much equity can I use? It's all your equity. If you're buying and selling, then you can use all of it. Abby, good evening. What's the minimum period of time after buying a house before I just sell it? There isn't a minimum time before you should sell it. Joe, thank you. I do struggle, though. They do go through quite quickly. I do struggle. Andrew, good evening. They do go through quite quickly. I wonder if I'll be a good news reader reading the... Should we use a local broker? If you want to see someone face to face, that's really the only benefit of it. We work with people all over the country on a remote basis because there's no actual need to do it face to face, really. So, yeah, it's up to you. If you want an awkward mortgage broker to come and sit in your living room, then go for it. If you don't, you just want to keep it easy and simple, then don't. It means also that we have great availability because we haven't got to do an appointment and then drive to the next one, We can literally come off a call and then we can go on to the next one. So it's really good. What monthly payments on two? I don't know, do I? There's so many other variables that go into that. What the rates to remortgage? Again, there's thousands of rates. Can you... Oh, they're coming through quickly again. Rather not. Lorna. You see, that's the point. You don't want to have an awkward mortgage advisor sitting in your front room, do you? Do you offer them tea? Do you offer them a drink? Yeah, so that's why we do it all remotely. We use Philip for our first home. How to sell? Oh, Jack, nice one. Thanks for that. How many mortgages do you close each day? As a company and as an individual, crikey. We don't do them. We don't close a deal every single day. That we charge a fee, so we don't have to pile up the work and charge it through so much like that. You see, it's not about churning stuff through quickly. It's about doing it properly and doing a good job. So, I mean, we probably do one close to one a day because there's a few of us, but that's not the aim of the game. First time remortgage and a buy to let. Any advice? Go through a broker and then they'll take care of it all for you. Can you rent out a shared ownership? Absolutely not. I have missed payments. I have cleared my arrears and now paying contract. Will this affect me? So it sounds like you're on an arrangement to pay. It will affect you, yes. So yeah, you'd need to find a lender that's going to be happy with that. Need to buy a new car also. Should I do this beforehand? Not if you can help it. Because if you're going to do it on finance, if you buy it beforehand, you're going to have that finance to pay, which means you'll be able to borrow less for a mortgage. If you can wait until after your mortgage has completed to then do it, you'll have a greater leeway on your mortgage. Should I pay Help to buy back the money I owe now or wait a few more years to see if the rates drop? Well, the thing is, who's going to say the rates are going to drop? So you might be waiting for something that's not going to happen. But in that time, your house might increase in value. So therefore, you've got to pay more back to the Help to Buy people. And in that time, you'd have also been paying the interest on the Help to Buy as well. Costly strategy, that, I think. When does the stamp duty threshold lower? 1st of April, 2025. Owing credit card but making payments on time, does this matter when buying a house? Yes, because you'll have an outstanding credit card balance, so it will affect your affordability, how much you can borrow. Is a broker with a fixed fee or commission better generally? Should I seek out versus another? I would say fixed fee because you know how much it's going to cost up front. Also, a percentage can get very, very expensive. So go on a fixed fee if you want. I certainly would avoid a percentage one. We're 349 at the moment, by the way. Do we need to exchange contracts before the 1st of April to avoid stamp duty? No, you need to complete by the 1st of April to avoid stamp duty. What stage should we get a broker? Right at the very beginning. right at the start, because then you get all the sort of the finance stuff out of the way. So you know how much you can afford, you know how much deposit you need. And then when you go and look at houses, you're looking at ones that you can afford, and therefore you know what you can offer and afford it. Can you get a mortgage with bad score? I assume you're talking credit score, but that's largely irrelevant. It's the whole credit history. So we need to know the specifics on your credit history. But yeah, if you've got issues, then we have access to the whole of the market. So yeah, we can find a lender that'll probably do it. Do you need to have an accountant for accounts when the sole trades get a mortgage? It would certainly help. I mean, there's going to be lenders that are going to require it. So yes. What does complete mean? The end of the process once you've got the keys to your property. Do banks contact your employer at all to verify salary? Would rather them not? No, I'm not buying. Yeah, we do. Brokers do it. Lenders do it. Why would you rather your employer not knowing you're buying? It's very strange. Advice for someone with poor credit score wanting to get a mortgage on a part-by-part rent. Speak to a broker. Get a check my file report. There's a link in the TikTok bio so you can get a free one so you know the specifics of what's behind this bad credit score, because we need to know that. Credit score is totally irrelevant. We need to know the specifics. What's on your credit file from the past 6 years? Small company jealousy potentially. No, don't worry about that. Is a mortgage in principle confirmation you get a mortgage? Absolutely not. No. Mortgage in principles aren't really worth anything. Because they don't do any underwriting at mortgage in principle stage. It's a loose look at your credit file and confirm your ID, and that's it. Only when it goes through to full underwriting and that's been done will you know whether it's been successful or not. Mortgage in principle isn't the be all and end all. I think HR would answer anyway, so no need for everyone in a small company to know. Yeah, exactly. I've never had a credit card. How will it affect the process? It wouldn't. It's a myth that you need a credit card to get a mortgage. It's a myth. You don't. If you've paid your utilities by direct debit, if you've paid your car insurance by direct debit, you're on the electoral roll, then happy days. You'll be fine. You will be fine on that aspect. What's the difference with decreasing life policy and a life policy? So there's two types of life policy. One's a decreasing, one's a level term. Level term means, say you got 100,000 worth of life insurance on a level term basis. It remains at £100,000 for the whole length of that policy. Decreasing decreases in line with you paying off your mortgage. So it's largely designed to clear off the mortgage if you died. Decreasing is naturally cheaper, but level term means your mortgage will be paid and there'll be some left over for your family. What issues do you see for mortgages for people with 0-hour contract? You need 12 months of pay slips to be able to prove your income. How long do underwriters usually take? They take as long as they take. Every application is different. Currently on a tracker mortgage, it's a good time to fix in right now. Depends on your situation, your circumstances. We have just paid off our mortgage in full. Now it's saying minus 500. Have we overpaid? Sounds like it. It's all right. You'll get it back. Just contact them. Say it looks like I've overpaid. Give it back. Nice work though, Chelsea. Paying off your mortgage. Congratulations. In debt most of your life, but all being settled by the time you get a mortgage, would it affect it? Only in a positive way, because you will have no debts. You can get mortgages with debts. Most people do. I mean, plenty of people get mortgages with credit card balances, cars on finance, loans, that kind of stuff. Oh, Chelsea, I see. Sorry. All right, sorry. But yeah, do contact the lender to get that 500 quid back. What is an underwriter? So it is someone who assesses the risk of the application. It's like insurance. They underwrite the risk. They assess its riskiness and decide whether it's viable or not. Don't block like last time for saying that. Well, you're clearly not blocked, are you? Because you're there. Oh, I see. Because you're a troll. Oh, that's why you were blocked. You were a troll. Because what qualifications do you need to be a mortgage? None. Well, to start, right, your comment there is actually, I'll read it exactly as you've written it. What qualifications do you need to be a mortgage? None. Just to clarify, I am not a mortgage. I am a human being. I think in your haste to be a troll and your excitement to thought, I'm going to write a good one here, you missed off the word advisor or broker. So you've embarrassed yourself there, haven't you? And the fact is you've put, what qualifications do you need to be, I assume, a mortgage broker? And you've put none. And you're actually wrong, because you do need to have qualifications to be a mortgage. Just because you might have failed your exams and you can't be a mortgage advisor, don't come on here and be a troll, because you're just embarrassing yourself. After exchange of contracts, how long is the completion date normally? It varies. It can be the same day, exchange and completion. Worth checking with your solicitor though. How long does it take to get qualified as mortgage broker? Depends which way you do it. If you're self-taught trying to do it around a job, it could take months. There are ones where you can sit in a classroom for a week and get taught it. But then obviously you've got to do the exams and stuff. So it really varies. Really varies. What's the difference between an advisor and a broker? Absolutely nothing. So it's just terminology. Is it better not to have debt on credit card before applying? Yes, it's ideal, but it's not a must. It just affects your affordability if there is. Luke, I think it's time Mark Bentley was dealt with, because he's just a dirty little troll. Can I get a mortgage for a property in Portugal? Not here, you can't, no. Can I put down an offer and then pull out? You can do, but it's not the best, is it? For a sole trader accounts, do I have to get a chartered accountant, or can be a qualified accountant? Qualified accountant should be enough. Student loan matters and buying house. A student loan will affect how much you can borrow, because it's like an outgoing. Not hugely, because it comes up before tax. It doesn't have too much of an impact. And only if you're paying it, because then it shows on your pay slips. Can my new husband buy my council house on his own? Probably not, because you have to be on a tenancy. Does all commercial bridging need a physical valuation or loan to value? I don't know. We hand our bridging over to someone else. What mortgage should I get? Who knows? Who knows what your situation is and what needs you have. You need to speak to a broker to get it fully assessed, and therefore they will help you out. I'm at 40. Is 30-year mortgage possible? Potentially, yes. Why is Bristol so... I know, Bristol is expensive, isn't it? God. Our house, right, in Bristol, we our first purchase, our first time buyers, we made £100,000 on that house in 2 years. That's crazy. And then COVID came along and people realised they didn't have to live in London. They can live other places, because London's, an hour on the train from here. So Bristol is pricey. That makes no sense. What makes no sense? We are thinking investing buy to let. Can you advise if we should buy under a limited company or not? You really need to speak to an accountant to get the tax advantages and disadvantages of doing it. I can't give that advice. It depends on things like, what's your strategy? Are you going to buy more buy to lets? Are you going to build a portfolio? Are you higher rate taxpayers? All that kind of stuff. If I was to buy a buy to let, I would buy it through a limited company as an SPV. That's just what I would do. Who's the best recommendation for bridging? We would put you in touch with someone within the group. If I pay council tax by instalments, does that impact right to buy? No. Can you get a mortgage with bad credit? Depends on what you mean by bad credit. Potentially, yes. Just started a new job, unable to buy 3 months' pay slips. What other evidence is acceptable? Signed employment contract. What mortgage should I get until I get this money? What are you talking about? Question: if I paid off CCJ, will that hinder me? If it's paid off, it will go in your favour, but the fact you've still got a CCJ on your credit file for 6 years will go against you. Oh, Cornish folk, you're asking stupid questions. If I was to remortgage to start a business but said it was for home improvements, well, that's just fraud, isn't it? Just say it's for starting a new business. Why lie? Don't lie on it. Oh, I can't see. Yeah, that's right. Can you get a mortgage if you claim benefits? Yes, potentially. Yeah. Any repercussions for living in your buy-to-let? Yes, mortgage fraud, repossession, and get on fraud register. So yes. Can you withdraw from your remortgage once accepted? How do you mean? So have you had a remortgage offer and you want to change it? You can do, as long as it's not completed. Can care worker who lives in UK for 2 years qualify for a mortgage? Yes. Is it bad if self-employed income goes double in second year? No, not at all. Yes, but legal work. You may have a fee for the legal work that started, but from a mortgage perspective, you can come out of it. What are the main things that you can get rejected from a mortgage the first time? But there's loads of things. You're not fitting the lending criteria of the lender, which is why you should always use a broker. Affordability, all kinds of stuff. Property valuation, property type, all that kind of stuff. Is it possible with mortgage arrears? Buy to let, is it possible with mortgage arrears? Not really, no. Well, possibly. Is it bad if my company pay my tax for me, but I'm self-employed? Well, your company can't pay your personal tax for you. Does it affect my right to buy application if I'm an IVA? Yeah, it does. IVAs screw everything. So if you're on IVA, you're not going to get a mortgage. Oh, for God's sake. Is it your salary 6 times or 4.5? Generally 4.5. There are instances where you can get 6, but they're very few and far between. Generally, it's 4.5. Beth, how many times do I have to say that credit score is totally irrelevant? How about once the IVA is finished? Once an IVA is finished, then yeah, you do stand a better chance because there are lenders that will do it. But while you're in an IVA, there's only one, possibly two that will do it, and you're going to need a 30% deposit. How long does it take to clear my credit file? You can't clear a credit file. A credit file is a moving thing. So it's a constantly moving thing. It takes 6 years for things to work their way through your credit file. But yeah, it's a forever evolving beast. Is Nationwide Helping Hand any good? Yeah, it is very good. What are the benefits? It gives you higher levels of multiples of income. You can borrow up to 95%. It is good. Luke, Jazz Singh. Trying to avoid inheritance tax. Well, that you can't avoid inheritance tax. Cass, there's another one for you there, Luke. We don't deal in illegal activity, tax avoidance, loopholes. So anyone who mentions I'm trying to avoid tax, I'm trying to find a loophole for this, just gets blocked. Which lender is good for 95%? There's loads of them. We've got quite a few lenders that do 95% mortgages. So, yeah, that's awful. So I will never be accepted for a mortgage with my credit file. I had 2 late payments. Who said that? Who said that? Because there are lenders who will accept you if you've got 2 late payments on your credit file. Not the high street lenders, probably not them, but there are lenders that will do it. So you need to speak to a mortgage broker, one that's got access to the whole market, and they will be able to help you out. Right. I'm not going to be on for much longer. I'm due for remortgage next year. Any advice, please? Yep, don't worry about it until 6 months before, and then you can start looking at your options then. Specialist lenders, but typically higher rate. Not necessarily. Who said that? I had 2 missed payments. I got a mortgage at Santander. There you go. Can I get a mortgage at 45 with a good salary? Absolutely, yes. I had 2 missed payments. Yeah, we've read that already. Thank you, advice. Much appreciated. I'll speak to a mortgage broker. You can speak to me if you wish. I'm a mortgage broker. Can you ask a lender for reevaluation in a credit file during mortgage application? No. What's the point? What's going to change in a couple of weeks? I changed jobs. What's the minimum I need to be in my job to get a mortgage? Depends on the lender. There are some that will just do it off a signed employment contract. There are others that are going to want to have, 3 months pay slips, possibly more. Have you heard of a company called First Mortgages? Yes. Will it affect my mortgage approval if I'm part-time work as self-employed plus my normal work? You need to make sure you're going to a lender that's going to take all of that into account. Can you get a mortgage with a CFAS marker? Not through us, no. My mortgage is 93k. My house worth 250. Mine is 30. Can I buy another house 290? I don't know, because what are you doing with regards to buying another house? Is it an additional purchase? Are you selling and going to another one? I'm planning to overpay by 300 every month by 5 years. Good idea. Absolutely. Overpayments. I love overpayments. Michael, go to Google Money Saving Expert Mortgage Overpayment Calculator. Put in your £300 overpayment and see the difference it makes. That will confirm to you that it's a good idea. 2 or 5 year fixed best. Depends on your individual circumstances. Right, I'm going to have to go because there are jobs that need doing before Monday. So do feel free to book in a call. You can do so by using the link in the TikTok bio. If you go into TikTok bio, it says book in a call and more. So click that link and in there you can book in a call. You can book in a call for us to write your will. You can get a free copy of your Check My File credit report, which is a must because it will tell you your credit history for the whole 6 years. Or you can get a copy of our free first-time buyer's guide. All there. Alternatively, you can send your name, send us an email to hello@mellowfinancial. Just include your name and phone number and someone will contact you to book in a call. But yeah, or you can give us a call on that number tomorrow. Plenty of ways to get in touch. And feel free. If you haven't already done it, hit the follow button because that's a good one. Thank you, Luke. As always, thank you very much. Do hit the follow button because we go live quite regularly to answer questions. You are welcome, Chelsea. No worries, Olive. So yes, do feel free to follow and get in touch if we can help you. We are here to assist, and that's what we will do. Good night, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, your Sunday evening, and until next time, keep safe and well. Toodaloo.